crap. The Defenders is finally here. So excited. So the Defenders is basically like the small scale Avengers. What happens is the Hand, they're up to some shady stuff. Iron Fist is looking into it. And then it starts to become like super real. And through a pretty good build-up over the course of an episode or two, the Defenders slowly start to come together. And yeah, it's not great at first between the characters. They don't really want to work together, but they kind of end up accepting that this is what has to happen. So, let's talk about the cast. Charlie Cox as Daredevil is yet again amazing. He is easily one of my favorite parts of that series and this series, and it was just really great to see Daredevil again after, like, I think a year since season 2 ended. So it was nice to see him again. You have Kristen Ritter as Jessica Jones. It was nice to see her on screen again, seeing as it's been, I believe, 2 years since we last saw her. And then we have Mike Colter as Luke Cage. Luke Cage was my favorite show out of all these Marvel Netflix series, so I was really excited to see him again. And I had a feeling, I had like this feeling in the back of my mind that I was hoping wouldn't be true, that he was gonna spend like the first episode or two in prison. And luckily that wasn't the case. I was really hoping that wouldn't be the case, and I had this feeling in the back of my mind that that's what was gonna happen. And luckily that didn't end up happening. And then you have Finn Jones as Danny Rand, Iron Fist. Oh, I'll say this. They actually made him likable in this show. I had a feeling that he was gonna be like the Hulk of this Marvel Netflix universe, where on his own, not very good, but as part of an ensemble, alright. And he's still the least likable member of the team, but he's actually more likable than the version of himself from the TV show. So that was good. That was good. I like that. And everyone picks on him, so that kind of helped, and I liked that a lot. And then we have Sigourney Weaver as the villain, Alexandra, and she's great. She is amazing. Sigourney Weaver is a great actress, and I was surprised when I found out that she was going to be playing the villain in The Defenders, because I was thinking about, I was like, holy crap. Sigourney Weaver is going to be playing a villain in a Marvel show. That's weird. Because, I mean, she's played villains before. It's just, there are just certain actors, when you hear them announced for a comic book role, you're like, I would never have thought of seeing that actor in a comic book movie or something. But, yeah. I really liked Sigourney Weaver as the villain, though. She definitely brought something interesting to the table. I'm not gonna spoil her character at all, because you find out something about her character right when she's introduced, and so you understand where she's coming from. And that's one of the great things about villains, is when you can understand exactly where they're coming from and maybe why they're doing things the way they're doing them. And that's definitely the case with Alexandra. The show is considerably shorter than the Solo series, whereas those are like 13 episodes each. This is only 8. So it really doesn't waste any time, but it still feels very well paced. I actually think this show is a lot better paced than the normal shows, because this one, well, I'll get into it later, but yeah, it's definitely a great, it's definitely shorter, and it's definitely, I think, better. I thought the character relationships are interesting. You have basically the team as a whole work very well together, but the pairs are what really stand out. You have Matt Murdock and Jessica Jones kind of gravitate more towards each other, and you have Luke Cage and Danny Rand who gravitate more towards each other. And then we also get some back and forth between Jessica Jones and Luke Cage, seeing as they did kind of have a relationship in the Jessica Jones series. But yeah, I thought the pairs worked very well together, though. I thought the back and forth between Daredevil and Jessica Jones was interesting, because you have Jessica Jones, who kind of likes to... She's kind of smart. She's a bit of a smart... she's a bit of a smart aleck. And, so she doesn't really put up with anyone's crap. And so just the back and forth between her and basically everyone was interesting, but she and Matt Murdock definitely worked well together. And then Luke Cage and Danny Rand, they just... I mean, they kind of had to do that one because it's in the comic books, so I was expecting it, but I still thought it was really good. I thought Elektra's story was cool. Because she basically is Alexandra's secret weapon after being brought back to life after the ending of Daredevil Season 2. Spoiler alert for Daredevil Season 2, I guess, but again, that was like over a year ago, so if you haven't seen it by now, that's on you, I guess. But yeah, I thought Elektra's story was cool. I like how this series, and particularly the final act of the series, kind of ties in to something from Daredevil Season 2. I liked seeing a lot of the supporting characters from the other shows come back. Like, you got Foggy and Karen from Daredevil. You got Trish from Jessica Jones. You have Misty Knight from Luke Cage. Colleen Wing from Iron Fist. Obviously, Claire Temple from all of the shows comes back. And it even has Stick is in there a little bit. Madame Gao, Bakudo is back, who actually is played by the guy who played Leo Spitz in Transformers Revenge of the Fallen. And I never even realized that when I watched Iron Fist. So that's pretty weird, because he's actually good in these shows. He was horrible in Revenge of the Fallen. And he just looks different. Like, I saw it after... I could, like, see the similarities after I found out it was the same actor, but still, it was just kind of funny. But, yeah, I guess if I had to say a complaint, I would say that some of the fight choreography is, like, Iron Fist bad. Like, the choreography in the show Iron Fist was not very good. And some choreography in this show with the fights isn't very good. The hallway fight scene near the beginning of the series, I think, was probably one of my favorites in the series. I think it's the most memorable one, so... yeah. Overall, I think this is the best Marvel Netflix series. It doesn't waste any time. There aren't any filler episodes, whereas you have this 13 episode long series with the Solo series, 1 or 2 or even 3, or if you're Iron Fist, like half of it, a couple of the episodes are going to be filler. This series doesn't have any filler. It all feels very just streamlined and very well done, and everything feels like it matters. Whereas there are a couple episodes where there are like storylines that is like, well, that doesn't really matter. But I think this series pulls all of the best things about the Solo series and puts it into one, and it works really well. Like, I'm not gonna go into it because it might spoil a couple things, so I'm just gonna stop it there. I'm gonna give the Defenders an A+. Thank you guys for watching this video. Let me know in the comments what you think if you've seen the Defenders Season 1. And be sure to click the link in, check out the links in the description. Check out our Patreon page. I just added a new reward on there, so check that out. And check out our Spreadshirt shop. I just added on, I had a Warped Spoon t-shirt up there for like a week, and I just added a Usual Suspects t-shirt, and I had to be kind of clever with how I did that. I'm still working on how I'm going to design the Coke can t-shirt, but I would like to eventually have t-shirts out for all of my short films, and I'm going to talk to Mason about maybe doing one for his short film, Trapped. But, so, yeah, check that stuff all out. Be sure to follow us on Twitter, @TheFilmGuy16. And, yeah, thanks for watching. Bye.